G'day folks. Today, thanks to a very generous donation from Polly Profit, a YouTuber that I highly recommend you go and watch, he's dropped off a Karcher pressure washer. Now it's a model N1417. That's not where the label is. I've just turned it around, put it there temporarily for just ease of viewing, because it's actually right on the bottom. So this thing, Karcher has got a good reputation. However, we're going to open this one up and see just how good this particular model is. Okay, back in a moment. Okay, so after taking the hose and any peripherals off it, the next thing is to take the base off. One thing I found is you absolutely need to have a long shafted T15 or a Torque 15 screwdriver or similar. I've tried the ones with the small bits, but they're actually quite deep recesses and they're quite narrow diameters to get in there. So a long shafted T15 is a bit of a must for this one. Okay, the actual plastic wheels are kept on by a plastic axle, which is quite an interesting little design. They come out with a flathead screwdriver and then they just pop out with a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of a wriggling around. Now for the front here, we need four Torque screws, T15s, and then for the back I believe it's going to be in here. And we'll see how we go with that. So it turned out there was a second one, so not just the one here, but there was one all the way in here which went all the way through to there. Now I couldn't get to it, and unfortunately it broke once I was trying to lever it off. Not a major deal for most people if they're scrapping it, but if you are going to be rebuilding one of these, that means you need an extra long T15, so be aware of that one. Okay, I'll be moving on to the shell in a sec. Okay, so quite a few T15s. As far as I could tell, none of them have got the security pin in the middle of them, so a normal T15 screwdriver should suffice. Although the access point where I couldn't quite get to, I needed 120 millimeters of shaft, and I only had 100 millimeters, so that's the reason why I couldn't get access. Now the big reveal, let's see what's in here. All right, what do we got here? Interesting. Looks like a bit of quite large Allen keys. Excellent. Okay, I'll get stuck into this and I'll give you another update in a sec. Once I got the sub assembly out of the casing, a few more T15s, and we have ourselves an electric motor, which looks like a half decent one, and the compressor unit. So I'll get stuck into that and again get back to you. Okay, so the end result, yes, now Karcher do spend quite a bit of time on research and development. I believe they have got quite a few really good high quality products. I don't know if this was more of their low end. However, they have got some really good components in here. Like for starters, there was 600 grams of cast aluminum, or cast aluminium as we call it in Australia, and it was actually, obviously it's an ongoing design change, and this one's from probably about 10 years ago. But yeah, they do put a lot of time and effort into what they do. A little bit of steel, the three pistons. Now the main bearing, I'm not 100% sure what do you call this, but it is quite an interesting one. There's actually two bearings here. So it's like a system where it actually manipulates the three pistons up and down as it roams around, and so therefore it actually has it's like a cam type thing. In an engine you'd have a cam, or on a crank you'd have offsets, but this is just to basically bounce these pistons up and down as it goes around. Okay, then there was 150 grams of copper. Not a heck of a lot, but you know, it all adds up. You keep putting it all in the same thing. Now the actual ball bearings, there was on the rotor there was a 608 at one end, which is quite common, most common bearing in the world apparently, and good for the skateboarders. And then there was a 607, which is slightly smaller. A few random O-washers, O-rings, and a couple of gears. And they're the screws that came out of it. this pile here was all the T15s, and these were T20s. So yeah, not a bad little pile of screws, little tiny bit of brass. And then those 4 Allen keys, they ended up being 8.8s. So the tensile strength of those was 8.8, and it was a 6mm Allen key to get it out. But they're actually good quality bolts, and they might end up in a project somewhere along the lines. Anyway, so I hope that helped. As I'm starting to do now, I'll put all of that in a big list in the description. Okay, thanks guys. See you next time.